So today, just want to have a little rift on menstrual cycle issues that women get and why they should never have severe issues. And severe menstrual cycle issues like severe heavy bleeds, severe cramping, painful time, and then other things like ovarian cyst, endometriosis, etc. And also heavy menopause. These things shouldn't be existing. These things didn't exist. If you look at through the research, you look back through history, go into Dr. Weston Price's book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, the best book out there, I think, in terms of actually independent, real research on tribes and how their health was. There were no menstrual cycle issues, severe menstrual cycle issues. Yes, people had a bit of pain, a bit of swelling, a bit of inflammation through their menstrual cycle, when they were experiencing menstrual cycle for a few days, but it never was long lasting. It was never debilitating, and that's because they didn't have to deal with all the things that women today have to deal with. You know, for example, women today, most of them are super stressed. They're trying to be everything to everyone, trying to work a certain amount of hours, trying to be a mum, trying to be a beautiful wife, trying to be the best daughter. And with that comes a lot of stress. The modern life is very stressful, trying to make enough to make ends meet, especially if they're a single mum. And so they're overworked. They're also undernourished. Most people today, and they're not just women, but most people today, they're eating foods that are heavily processed, heavily refined, sprayed with things like pesticides, herbicides, larvicides, insecticides, rodenticides, glyphosate. And then putting all that into their system. Not good. That's just the real food that's caked with that. Let alone all the refined processed food, the wheat, the gluten, the crisps, the drinks, the etc., the cookies, um, and so not getting enough actual nutrition on board, and then lack of movement. Lots of people today, especially women, a lot of people they go from bed to breakfast table to car, car to office, office back to car, car back to couch. And it means that there's a lack of movement. They're sedentary. The human body's not meant to be that way. We're meant to move. It's one of the ways that we allow our body to detoxify, but also it's fantastic for our mental and emotional health, and also our hormones. We need to move. Um, Being inside the whole time means that there's no fresh air. There's a lack of fresh air. Um, So that's super important. Also, getting outside in the sunlight first thing in the morning, it sets up a circadian rhythm. If your circadian rhythm's out of balance, then your hormones going to be out of balance. That's going to lead to issues. Um, the world we live in, we're in a very very toxic world, surrounded by things like plastics, um, cosmetics, heavy metals, parasites, etc. And then all the things that we're putting on our skin: moisturizers, creams, shampoos, deodorants, full of aluminium and other things, carcinogenic ingredients, endocrine disrupting ingredients. They're going to play with your hormones. Then you've got women not sleeping properly and not getting adequate sleep. If you're not getting to bed at the right time, every hour before 12 o'clock is worth double. I know this to be true for myself and all my clients. But also, if you're not sleeping properly, your body cannot restore. Sleep is so important. I mean, it's like a miracle, sleep. So if you're not getting enough sleep, that's going to have a problem with, have a detrimental effect to your hormones and then your menstrual cycle. Then we talk about blue light at night. Having too much exposure to blue light at night, it means that this is going to be playing havoc with your hormones as well. They've even done studies on children in India, and they show that the children in India, the females are actually getting their periods um, 1 to 2 years earlier than normal, like as young as 8 to 9 years old. And they're saying it's because the body is actually getting so much blue light exposure, it thinks it's living 2 years in one. So they're getting the periods earlier. That's just one fact of it. If you're being exposed to blue light at night, it plays havoc with your mitochondria, plays havoc with your hormones. You're not going to get deep, restful sleep. Um, then you've got all the medication that women are on, especially birth control, which we do a whole video on that. It's a complete health disaster. Uh, it's been linked to cancer. It's been linked to reproductive issues, hormonal problems. It's been linked to actually falling in love with the wrong male. Women on birth control are more attracted to men who are beta male rather than alpha male, in terms of pheromones. So it turns out when they come off the birth control pill, they're not actually attracted to their partner anymore. It's another thing. But birth control has got a whole host of terrible side effects, and one of them is it plays havoc with the actual your fertility and your menstrual cycle. Um, and then the coffee, you know, people having so many coffees a day, especially women, just to try and get through the day, having this synthetic stimulant, which the Native Americans actually call empty fire, because it gives you the illusion of energy rather than actual energy. And it depletes vitamins, it depletes minerals, it stops blood flow to the brain. It's a health disaster. It's extremely drying for women as well. And so putting all these stimulants in your body continually, it's going to play havoc with your hormones, your endocrine system. It's going to burn out your adrenals. These are not what we want to do. And then you've got also things like amalgam fillings, so mouthfuls of heavy metals like mercury in the mouth, flooding the system, or root canals, which have got a 100% chance of infection. So all these things are going on, um, and it means that the body can't be healthy. It's out of balance. You know, as I said before, being super stressed as well, it's a symptom we call rushing women's syndrome. It's basically where women are acting like men but in a female body. And we say like men are like pickup trucks, you can flog us to pieces and eventually we break down, but it takes a long, long time. Whereas females are more like Ferraris, they look fantastic, but they need special care and attention. They have an issue to deal with every month. And they're meant to have enough nutrition and minerals and vitamins, etc., on board to be able to create life. But most at the moment haven't even got enough nutrition on board to keep themselves healthy. And so when you look at all these things, you know, bathing in tap water, I mean, which is full of heavy metals, pesticides, bacteria, funguses, just, I mean, endocrine disrupting chemicals. Atrazine is one. And so you add all these things together, and no wonder women aren't able to have a normal menstrual cycle that's not painful, not having heavy bleeds. Then you've got endometriosis, ovarian cysts. But the good news is, once you return the body back to homeostasis, back to balance, get it out of a state of dis-ease and into a state of ease, give it the right nutrition, detoxify where it needs to be detoxified, get your gut health right, get the right amount of movement, get the right amount of sunlight, get to sleep at adequate time, stop putting chemicals on your skin, get stress management techniques in place, you know, spend time with loved ones, do all these things, the body will get back to balance and get back into a state of ease, and these issues will disappear. I've seen it thousands of times. I've dealt with women that have been told they will never be able to have a normal menstrual cycle again. 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks of our program, the Total Health Revival course, boom, they're back to normal. Why? Because we're doing all the things that Mother Nature wants to get your body back to balance. And once we do that, you're going to get results. It cannot not happen. Some people's bodies respond quicker than others, depending on how toxic and how stressed you are, other things that go into it. Romantic relationship, stress around that, finances, etc. But once you start to get the body back into a state of ease, it will respond. And so, yes, having a slight bit of pain around your menstrual cycle can be normal, a bit of inflammation, etc. But having severe issues isn't normal, it's just common. Once you step back into balance with Mother Nature, and you start doing all the things I mentioned, the right nutrition, detoxification, out in the fresh air, sunlight, movement, stop putting all the chemicals, etc., on your skin, and everything else I mentioned, then your body will get back to balance and you will be able to have a normal menstrual cycle. But until that happens, you're going to be in pain, and it's not fun. I've seen so many of my clients go through it, and I've seen their lives change when we've got them healthy, because it means that they can put their energy into playing with their kids, even wearing the clothes they like, being able to go out with their friends and family because they couldn't go out before because they're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days they're in pain and they couldn't put that energy into their business. It's completely debilitating. But once we start to get the body back into balance, back into ease, these things disappear. So hopefully this video has helped you put all these things in place. If you're looking for course that will help you do that, and the Total Health Revival course will be perfect because it'll give you a simple step-by-step actionable plan to follow. And if that's something you're interested in, give me a DM. Otherwise, stay happy, stay healthy. I'll speak.